So let's go through the process of re-waxing a board or waxing one for the first time. So I've just removed the wax from this board, squeaky clean. Now, important point, if you did just remove the wax from your board using the sun outside, make sure you let the board cool down before you start to apply the wax. Otherwise, it's not going to go on right. So I have an assortment of different waxes here. I have a base coat wax, a tropical, a warm water wax, that's another warm water wax, and a cool water wax. All right, so the way that we're going to start, if you can get your hands on a base coat, terrific. If you can't, what you want is a warm water wax. So the hardest wax that you can get your hands on is generally best for your base coat. And then you want to go over it again with a softer wax and maybe finish it off with a really soft wax on top. It depends on where you're surfing and the type of feel you like for your wax. But just do yourself a favor and don't try to do the whole thing with soft wax, because it's just not going to work as well as you want it to. All right, you need a base coat or a firmer wax. So we're going to start with the base coat. Now I like to use the edge. If you've got a round one like sex wax or something like that, you've still got an edge. It's just a round edge. I like the square one. Well, it's not square, but you know what I mean. And what I like to do is start by working out how far up the board I want the wax to go. And I'll normally draw a line across. I'll come down. I like to keep my wax just short of the rail. Some people like to wax all the way to the rail. That's not me. I don't like doing that. I prefer to just keep the wax just shy of the rail. And so I'll do the same thing on this side and then come across just in front of the tail pad, right? So that's my outline. Now I'm going to do a crisscross pattern. It doesn't matter which way you do it. You can do it diagonal. You can do it straight. You can go straight one way and diagonal the other. It does not matter, but we do want some type of crisscrossing pattern, because that's going to help the wax to form the lumps that we want it to form to create the surface that we want. All right, so I'm just going to go in a diagonal pattern like this. They don't have to be straight. They don't have to be evenly spaced. They don't even have to be consistent. Just make a series. See, and I started diagonal and now I'm nearly just going straight. Cool. Once you do it in one direction, pick another corner and go in the other direction. So another diagonal this way. Sometimes it's going to peel off as you do it. Doesn't matter, just push them down, stick them on. They become lumps later. Don't even worry about it. Okay, so now that I've done the crisscross pattern, push down some of the lumps that where bits have flaked off. All right, so still using the base coat, and what we do now is we go Mr. Miyagi style, and we put the wax on. I like to use circular motions. Almost everybody uses circular motions. It just works better. Lumps come off, just push them down. Okay, that'll do for the base coat. All right, so we've got some lumps starting to form. Don't feel like you have to color inside the lines. These lines that you made, doesn't matter if you go outside of them at all. It's just a guideline anyway. Right, so that base coat is done. Now, straight away, just by putting my hands on here, I know that this is not sticky enough, okay? Aside from the fact that there's not enough wax there for it to be a proper coat, but I can feel that the wax is so hard that it's not going to provide me the traction that I want when I'm in the water. And so that's why we use multiple types of wax. So I've gone from base coat, now I'm going to use a warm wax. And you could almost call this like a middle coat, yeah? Actually, I'm going to bring the camera down here so that you can see what this looks like at what stage I've stopped the base coat. So you can see we're starting to form some lumps, but we don't have full coverage by any means, and it's just not very sticky. Okay, so I'm going to move on to a warm water wax, which is like a sort of a mid to soft wax. And this is going to form the next layer of the coat. All right. So again, circular motions move through the entire area, and you should really start to see the lumps starting to form in this coat. All right, so we're really starting to form some nice sticky lumps, and that does feel sticky now. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. Yeah, you can probably start to see them there. So stage 2 of waxing this board, and you can see those lumps are well and truly forming there, and it feels sticky to the touch now. It feels like it's just about there. So this next stage is by no means necessary. You can just keep going with your softer wax until you've got the lumps that you want. There's not quite enough lumps for me. I would prefer these lumps bigger and stickier. But as a personal preference, I actually like to use some extra soft wax. And this is my last coat that I'll do. So I'll grab some extra soft, and I'll just repeat the process, go over the whole thing again, and this will be my top coat. Now the extra soft wax makes it really sticky, but if you are going to use it, you need to be aware it's going to come off on your hands, it's going to come off on your wetsuit, it's going to come off on almost everything it touches because of how soft the wax is. So that's why I say, like, I do this, but you don't have to. The base coat and then the top coat would be enough, all right? Okay, and there we go. So that's about where I want it to be at. And then we have the final product. So you'll see lots of very large, very sticky lumps. That's exactly how we want it to look. So for me, this is just about perfect. Lots of very large, very sticky lumps. Exactly how we want it. Just off the rails. I probably could have gone a little more towards the rail on this side. Doesn't matter. It'll get there eventually because I sort of re-wax them a lot. But this is very sticky too. So that's my personal preference. I like to do 3 coats, but standard is 2 coats. You can do 2 coats if you want, but I'll reiterate again. Do not do your base coat with a soft or an extra soft wax. You have to use either a base coat wax or a hard wax. And then depending on where you live, the hard wax will probably be too hard, not sticky enough. And so you'll want to go over it with like a warm water wax, a soft wax, or a medium wax to make it sticky enough and to form those lumps that you want. Cool? Cool.